I've gotten this question many times from women. And the question is, why do young men choose to pursue or date older women? And the answer is pretty easy to me. I know right away because I've dated a few older women, and I must say that my relationship with them has always been 10 times better than somebody my age or a woman younger. And mainly it's because older women are less about drama, toxicity, and things of that nature. They're not as combative, they're not as clingy. I am a busy individual. I work in aerospace and I can be, busy, really busy with work. I go to the gym almost every day. I play a lot of basketball. I obviously make YouTube content. So my schedule can be full, which means I don't have the ability to do all the texting all day and, every moment seeing if you responded. And I don't have time really for all of that. You kind of get my attention when you have it, whenever that is. It's not every second, it's not every minute. It's kind of like when I have the freedom to give you my attention because my attention is always elsewhere on growing, building, developing something or myself. And older women tend to understand that you have a life and you have things that you're trying to accomplish or trying to obtain in your life. And they're a lot more lax about bugging you about constant texting or constant communication. I've noticed that older women are more like, as long as we know that we're on the same page, you're still feeling me, I'm still feeling you. I'm okay with us not having the best of communication as it pertains to texting or talking on the phone or FaceTiming, So I tend to value that a lot versus like younger women. They want you to text them all the time. If you're not texting them, they're tripping. Why ain't you been texting me? Where you at? Share your location. Let me see your phone. I'm too grown for that. I don't have time for that, nor do I want to deal with that kind of energy. That energy is going to do nothing but pull from me rather than add to me, So I find older women just a lot, a lot easier to fit into my lifestyle. And then another thing is that they're more stable. They have their own life. They have the ability to afford the things that they need. They're not so much like a younger woman who's you may need to help her pay her rent. You may need to help her pay off a credit card. They're so much more dependent on you versus an older woman who really has her independency, and I value that independency. you know not saying that I don't take care of my woman, of course, but I do like my woman to have the capabilities to take care of herself and not be reliant upon me. I don't like when you're reliant upon me. Um so you need to have your things together, your stuff together, your life together. So older women are typically in that area, as it pertains to just independency, having their life together, their things in order. And women look for older men somewhat for these same reasons, except women are looking for older men because older men have more resources that they have acquired over the years versus I'm not necessarily dating an older woman for her resources. Some men may do that, but most men are not dating them for their resources, more of just maybe how they fit into their lifestyle. Or some men are just, they're finding a kink out of dating someone older. So whatever it is for that particular person. But for me, I dated them mainly because of how they added to my life. They did more adding than subtracting from my life. So I've always liked older women for that. They're a lot more experienced. They know how to handle and deal with a man. They're a lot less combative. They're not, I'm not saying all. I don't want to, say that all older women are not combative, because a lot are. A lot of them are just as bad as the girls that are in their 20s. But I would say you run into women that are older more often that have the right temperament, that are less combative, that are less argumentative, that are less toxic. And usually that's because they have experienced a lot. Some of them have been married. Most of them have been in long term relationships. So they're coming out of situations where they also don't want to be in anything that's toxic. They have done the healing or the learning that they needed to do, and they're a lot healthier going into newer relationships versus younger women. Younger women tend not to do the work, they tend to monkey branch or rebound more often than older women, because older women still do that as well. So I don't want to act like they don't, but they just handle things with more maturity than younger women do. So they understand men better. That's part of the reason why I like dealing with older women. They understand me better. They understand what not to do, what things that they may do that may trigger me. They try to stay away from doing those things that may trigger me. So I appreciate that. Um, I value that. And it just makes me more inclined to pursue older women for that reason. They know how to nurture you. Some of them have had kids and have grown those kids, and they just have more of that nurturing ability. Because I'm a man who loves, like, acts of service. I like my back scratched. I like little things like that, and older women tend to do that naturally. It comes to them naturally a lot more than it does women that's around my age or that are younger than me. So wanting to date older women is a thing. It's kind of a catch 22 because you want to be with them, but you really aren't going to have anything lasting with them if you're somebody who wants children. Because a lot of them are done having children. They probably have grown children. Children are probably close to your age. So you have to be the type of person that's okay with the age gap and understand that when you hit 40, they may be hitting 55. They may be, older looking within a few years. Um, and you got to be okay with the fact that they can't reproduce, they can't have children, So it's a catch 22. You want to be with them, but you kind of can't. You want to be with them because of their age and how much more maturity they have, but also because of their age, they can't reproduce, or they're going to, be really older when you're somewhat in your 40s or 50s or whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to drop this video, drop some gems on, why men date older women or what they look for in older women. Um and it really is geared around my past, my history, my reasonings. Men could be doing it because they've always wanted an older woman. They find it as a challenge. Everybody has their reasonings for doing what they do. So this video is structured around my reasoning for as to why I dated older women in my past. But I thank you guys for checking out this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, because I promise I'll engage and I'll, respond. I like the little bit of dialogue. And please leave a like, man. Anything that can help me get into the algorithm, help me help you guys, because I'm bringing y'all with me wherever I go. I'm trying to grow this community, and I do that by engaging with you guys and talking to you guys. But I thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and I'm appreciative of that. And I'm gonna have more videos on the way per usual. Yeah. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.